Breaking tonight, a fourth officer has died after being shot while serving a warrant in East Charlotte today. In all, 8 officers were shot in the operation. Within the last 15 minutes, we learned the names of 2 more of the officers who were killed. Sam Poloche and Alden Elliot were both 14-year veterans of the North Carolina Department of Adult Correction. Charlotte's police chief identified his fallen officer as Joshua Eyer. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. The U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, along with local police, were serving that warrant. The police chief says the suspect used a high-powered rifle to shoot at the officers. Tonight, we're learning more about the members of the U.S. Marshals Service that died, including a deputy marshal and 2 members of the task force from the North Carolina Department of Corrections, who you just heard Gerald talk about. 4 other officers are still being treated. WRAL has team coverage of this tragic shooting from Charlotte to right here at home. And we begin with WRAL's Monica Casey live in Charlotte as we learn more tonight about those who have been killed.
Yeah, Ashley, police still have a lot of this East Charlotte neighborhood inaccessible right now. They are focusing their investigation on a house that's further back behind me, and this is the closest we can get right now. We have learned the suspect who was the subject of the search warrant was killed. He was a 39-year-old man named Terry Clark Hughes.
They bussin'.
Rissa Rain captured this video of the standoff between law enforcement and suspects inside a home on Galway Drive.
Honestly, it's like something out of a movie.
She tells me she was late picking up her children from school because she couldn't get out of her neighborhood.
The SWAT went through about 3 rounds of shooting, 15 minutes. Shooting, 30 minutes. And then the last time was when everything ended. I saw the snipers walking back. So I'm like, oh, they must be done now.
NBC News obtained this Facebook video of the shooting. That series of rapid gunfire left neighbors here shaken hours later.
It's really scary to be in this environment.
The house across the street from me, the back of it got hit by a couple stray bullets. And I woke up to it sounded like a war and just kind of tried to figure out what was going on at that point.
1 deputy U.S. Marshal was killed. 2 members of the North Carolina Department of Correction, who were also members of the Marshals Fugitive Task Force, were also killed. Sam Poloche leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Alden Elliot leaves behind a wife and 1 child. Both men were 14-year Department of Adult Correction veterans. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police officer Joshua Eyer was also killed. He leaves behind his wife Ashley and 3-year-old son Andrew. And 2 women who were in that house have been taken into custody. The police chief says one of them is 17 years old. In Charlotte, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
I'm Lena Tillett in the WRAL Live Center, and we're getting brand new video just showing how frightening that shootout was between the suspects in the home and police officers who responded. Officers will tell you it's always a dangerous endeavor to serve a warrant knowing that there are weapons in the home. But this brand new video tonight just shows the barrage of gunfire that was coming toward these officers. This video is coming from a neighbor's home. They were watching from their home as you see the officers here clearly in a defensive position, shooting and being shot at. Take a listen. That is just incredible to hear. Some witnesses saying that it felt like they were seeing a war, a battle play out. Governor Cooper was in Charlotte. Unclear if he went as a result of this shooting or if he was there for some other event. But we had learned from a spokesperson that he planned to meet with victims, family members. And the governor also spoke tonight. Take a listen.
It reminds us of the fact that these officers every day when they go out, whether they walk up to a car, whether they serve a warrant, violence can happen to them. And this was a brutal attack on these officers who were merely trying to serve a warrant.
Absolutely a brutal attack. The governor, one of many public officials, sending their condolences to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, as well as a number of local law enforcement coming together to share their wishes, well wishes for the department. Julian Grace joining us now live in Raleigh with that part of the story. Julian.
Yeah, Lena, moments after that shooting was confirmed, support started pouring in all across the state for the officers and also for their families.
This tragedy happened in one Charlotte neighborhood. 4 officers dead, 4 officers injured, and a state in grief.
Shortly after confirmation of the deaths and injuries, statements started popping up. This one from Governor Roy Cooper, who shared he's in contact with law enforcement in Charlotte and has offered up state resources. Wake County Sheriff Willie Rowe weighed in, sharing his department is ready to assist and provide assistance to Charlotte PD. And then we received this statement from Raleigh Police Chief Estella Patterson, who previously spent more than 25 years with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. She said in part, quote, "As a former member of the CMPD, my heart breaks for the department and for the loss of the 3 task force members of the U.S. Marshals Service." Then Back the Blue NC created this GoFundMe. The organization supports the families of fallen officers, and the funds for this GoFundMe will support the Charlotte families left behind. Even if you can't donate, organizers of Back the Blue NC says there is still something we all can do.
And the main thing that you can do, every single person, when you're out there and you see an officer, stop them and say thank you. You would not believe how far that goes to that officer. You will make that officer's day. You could make that officer's week, and possibly, depending on the last time someone thanked him, you may make that officer's month.
Showing appreciation can go such a long way. Now, Back the Blue NC hopes to raise about $250,000 for those families. Reporting in downtown Raleigh, Julian Grace, WRAL News.
And tomorrow, our coverage continues on the morning news and throughout the day with live reports from WRAL's Eric Miller and Monica Casey on the scene in Charlotte.